Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It's July 9th, 1999. It's 7999999.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, then.
Happy 4th of July, everyone.
Yes.
Hope you had a good one.
Not New Year's.
Happy New Year of America.
Happy Independence Day.
Happy birthday, the USA.
You know, I read somewhere the other day that independence from Britain is the #1 celebrated holiday in the world because so many different countries have gotten independence from them.
Sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It would be more than, say, like Christ Mass.
Exactly. It's more people freed from Britain than going to
Christ.
Yeah.
Then we want to talk to you about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. This is what this has all been building up to, everyone. We hooked you in for 5 years. No, but speaking of, I don't know, saviors, I guess. Savior of the female musical festival, Sarah McLachlan.
I love Sarah McLachlan so much.
It's the end of the road for Lilith Fair. Saying farewell to Lilith Fair, the all-woman summer concert tour she created. Sarah McLachlan is proud of the tour's surprising success after its early battles for acceptance. I had to defend Lilith every step of the way, McLachlan says in the August issue of Spin magazine. I came under fire from the media who asked, "Why do you hate men?" I was like, what does putting this on have to do with hating men?
Right?
It has nothing to do with you guys. Sorry. Lilith Fair has showcased some of the top female names in popular music, including Paula Cole, Juella, Natalie Merchant, and hip-hop star Missy Misdemeanor, in quotation marks, Elliott.
So all of them except for Missy Misdemeanor Elliott are like majorly played in my repertoire.
Yeah, I know.
Like I literally like have worn out some of the tapes and love the CDs, and yeah. I know you have to deal with it. I think that is crazy though that like they would think that that's hating men to celebrate women.
No, that's so some guys think that way.
It's stupid.
Some guys think that giving any credit to any woman ever is hating men, apparently. But speaking of hating men, I bet there's a lot of men out there that hate this guy. Posh Spice is getting married in Dublin to some soccer dude.
Why do they hate him?
Because they would want to marry her.
Oh.
Gearing up.
Yeah, she's pretty, I guess.
She's not my type, but whatever. Gearing up for the celebrity wedding of Victoria, quotes again, Posh Spice Adams, and her soccer star fiance.
Love you.
I love you too. David Beckham. A steady stream of cars and vans swept through Electronics Gates Saturday at Lutstrell Town Castle in Dublin, Ireland. So she's marrying some soccer dude named David Beckham. She'll be Victoria Posh Spice Beckham.
What a name.
So good for her.
Congratulations.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers are back with a new album, Carol.
Yeah.
After a 4-year layoff following severe drug relapses and another switch in guitar players, the Los Angeles group consisting of Anthony Kiedis, Flea, Chad Smith, and you ever seen Chad Smith? He looks a lot like Will Ferrell.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And rehired former guitarist John Frusciante that's not his name, but whatever, have come out with a new album called Californication. And the band is back on the road during concerts, says the August issue of Spin magazine.
I like that song.
Dream of Californication. Yeah, it's one of the two kind of songs they sing. They either sing songs that are like that, like, or, like, so they either sing songs like that or they sing
Goodness.
You know the songs they sing like that, right?
I probably don't know those songs because I don't like those kind of songs.
That's the two types. I like the Red Hot Chili Peppers in general, but that's the two type of Red Hot Chili Pepper songs that exist.
Thank you for that demonstration.
You're
There.
welcome. Carol,
Yes.
I'm going to try this one more time.
Okay.
Today's birthdays.
Oh, dear God.
Guess
Okay.
the ages
Now I'm scared.
of these people.
Too much pressure.
First, Abigail Van Buren. Now, you might be asking, who the fuck is Abigail Van Buren? You may know her better as Dear Abby, the columnist.
So I'm guessing her age.
Yes. Not her name or occupation. I've given you those. What she had for breakfast.
62.
She is 81 today.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Dear Abby, it's gone
Good for her.
gone a long time, you know. Ann Landers, also a columnist.
I thought they were like the same fucking person. So I'm going to go with 65.
Well, I'll give you a hint. They're twins.
Are they?
Yeah, you might have thought they were the same person because they are twin sisters.
That is hilarious.
So how old do you think she is now?
85, right?
You forgot.
How old was she?
81.
Damn it. That is ADD at work there, people.
Neil Simon, the playwright, wrote such things as The Odd Couple, Brighton Beach Memoirs, I think.
Okay.
Bullets, or what's it, Broadway Bound, and Biloxi Blues.
Okay, so The Odd Couple, I think, was popular in the 50s. And so he was probably in his 30s when he wrote that. So he probably was born in the 20s, which would make him in the 70s. So I'm going to say 75.
72.
I was closer.
Very good reasoning. You were off a little bit. The Odd Couple was in the 60s. But the early 60s, but yes. I think anyway, you might be right about the 50s actually. The movie was for sure in the 60s, but the play might have been in the 50s. George Steinbrenner, owner of the New York Yankees.
I have no idea about anything to do with sports, but
Keep in mind they start from oldest and they go down to youngest.
Oh, they do. Thank you for that hint.
So you know he's under 72.
So he has to be pretty old, though, to have amassed enough wealth to own a team.
Correct.
So
I believe shipping or something like that. That's where he made his money.
67.
69.
Damn!
Carol.
I almost said 69. I was thinking 69. And I was like, but that's just the dirty number. So no, go with something else. Be mature.
What about Bill Withers, singer?
Stand By Me?
That's Ben E. King.
What does Bill Withers sing?
I don't remember what Bill Withers
I
sings.
put you on the spot.
I think he sings "Ain't No Sunshine When You Go."
Oh, from the movie we just saw with Julia Roberts and
Yes.
yeah.
I believe he sings that song, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, he's younger than 69.
Correct.
I don't know.
Older?
55.
61.
Damn it! Are they all old? Do you have to be old to be in this?
You don't have to be old, but, you know, what do you consider old? What about Geraldo Rivera, TV host, chair thrown at his face?
59.
56.
Okay.
And then John Waite, singer, youngest on the list.
John Waite?
John Waite, yeah.
45.
44.
So close.
Excellent. Carol, speaking of excellent, how about a theater that cancels a campy porn film?
Good for them.
It avoids clashing with a Royal Oak law by substituting a less explicit Disco Dolls. To the vice president of the company that owns the Main Art Theater in Royal Oak, we've been to the Main Art Theater in Royal Oak. Disco Dolls in Hot Skin is just a harmless piece of campy summer fun. But to the Royal Oak Deputy Assistant City Attorney, showing it downtown could be criminal. So the Main, owned by California-based Landmark Art Theater chain, canceled midnight screenings of the 1977 3D pornographic movie Disco Dolls and Hot Skin.
3D pornographic movie. Holy
Don't you love it?
Shit.
So the late 70s, that was like the late 70s, and I would say the early 80s was the heyday of the resurgence of 3D, because 3D was a popular thing in like the 50s when they kind of first came up with it, the technology, and then it exploded again in popularity in the like late 70s and early 80s, and now it's out of favor. But remember all the sequels, they were always like the Jaws 3D. Part 3 was always 3D. Friday the 13th 3 was 3D.
Okay.
And that came out, I want to say, in 83, I think. Ironically enough, 83 or 84. No, it wasn't 84. 83, I think. But anyway, yeah, you can't, it's hard to actually watch Friday the 13th 3D anymore, because the type of 3D technology that it needed, you need an actual silver screen.
Oh, okay.
Like a screen with, a silver in it.
Interesting.
Yeah. But anyway, so a 3D porn movie, Disco Dolls and Hot Ski, that was planned for this weekend, and replaced it with an R-rated version with the sexually explicit scenes excised.
Oh, wow. Is it still 3D?
Yeah, apparently.
Like, who wants to see a porn without the sex, though? Like, what? That's going to be awful.
It was marketed as The Real Boogie Nights, a reference to the acclaimed 1997 drama about the porn industry in Los Angeles in the 1970s.
Yeah, we talked about that movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's a very good movie. Wait, so this is the movie Boogie Nights was based on?
No, they're just saying they're marketing it as saying like, hey, you liked that movie Boogie Nights, that prestige movie that was a satirization or whatever, not a satirization necessarily, but like an examination of the social mores of the late 70s and juxtaposing them with the social mores of today. And like, Boogie Nights is a very heady movie. This is a campy porn flick, but they're equating the two, saying
Without
like,
sex.
Yeah, they're equating the two. They're saying like, hey, you liked that movie. This is kind of like the movies they were making.
They are not going to sell any tickets to this thing.
I don't know why. Like, I assume there's still nudity, but no sexually explicit scenes.
But I mean, like, you're not even going to have simulated sex then, because the sex was not simulated. So,
Right, exactly.
Like, no.
Yeah,
like,
not gonna have anything.
I mean, can you imagine, like, Debbie Does Dallas with no sex? I mean,
Right.
it would be the stupidest movie you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, and instead of the second stupidest movie I've ever seen in my life. Debbie, I've seen some of the old pornos, like Debbie Does Dallas, Deep Throat, The Devil in Miss Jones, and stuff like that. Some of the ones that like dominated the porn theaters in New York or whatever in the late 70s. And none of them are very good. Maybe it's just, maybe like comedies, porn is a product of its time, and it doesn't really age well. I don't know, but they don't age well.
I prefer more modern porn.
Sure. So you perform some kind of porn.
I prefer a more modern porn where they don't feel the need to pretend to have a story.
Yeah.
Just show me what I want to see.
Oh, okay. I see. That's what I hear every night. But speaking of showing what you want to see or whatever, you just said, how about, now, we only had like 2 stories, but I thought we American Pie is all about wild kids with wild hearts or whatever. So I thought we'd do some wild hearts. Some massive love.
My favorite.
These are all from the Wild at Heart section, okay? So these are the off-the-wall people. 26-year-old single white male physician, 5'9", 160 pounds, attractive, athletic, looking for discreet summer fun or possibly relationship. All replies will be answered. First of all, why are you in the Wild Heart section? Second of all, why does it matter you're a physician?
Well, because a lot of women want to marry doctors because they think they have money. I mean, that's a thing. But
why discreet summer fun?
Yeah, like the fact that you put both those things together makes me suspicious.
Yeah. What are you planning, sir?
What do you need to be discreet about?
Why is someone that's really good with a knife looking for people it's the
ice cream truck. It is that time of year.
But why are they looking for? He's trying to get kidneys. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
That, or he just wants to play doctor and he's not really a doctor.
Yeah. Here's another one that I don't think it should be in the Wild Hearts section. Good golfers wanted.
What?
Single white male seeking male, 40 to 55, for weekend getaway golfers. No drugs, no smoking. Macomb area. Dude, like, this guy is looking for a friend?
But since he put it in the Wild Hearts section, I feel like he's looking for a friend who likes to play golf and fuck.
Do you think so?
Yes.
Like, because I feel like if he's not, he's going to get some weird responses.
They're going to want to do some things with the balls and the sticks, and it's not going to be happy for you, sir. Yeah.
They're called clubs. The sticks. The golf sticks.
Whatever the fuck they are. They're a phallic shape, and that is all that matters.
Now, here's another one, Carol. Huh. There's more golf.
What is going on? Maybe there's some kind of weird, like, underground golf.
That's what that's why I was going to ask you, does golfer or golfing mean something else? Is there, like, a weird sex thing?
I mean, not that I know, but I'm not out there in the underground.
We got to dig in the earth to find these people.
We could call their number and
that's
ask.
why they have those clubs, to get into the ground.
Right.
Lady golfer, married. So it says lady golfer, period. Married, white professional male, 43, looking for a white female partner for golfing and some night putting afterwards.
Well, there you go. At least they're upfront about what they want.
All calls answered.
So your wife won't play golf with you, and you decided that you need to diddle your golf partner, so you must find a woman.
Diddle. Yep. That's what he's looking for. He wants something.
Was that also in the Wild Hearts section?
Yes, these are all.
Oh, because he wants to cheat.
Yes, because he's a cheater.
The only thing that doesn't end up in this section is a straight man or a straight woman looking for each other who are
apparently
not in any way kinky,
right,
or involved.
Apparently, because I saw some that I passed up. I saw some like black female looking for a white male, or black male looking for a white female.
Are you kidding? So interracial couples fall into...
That's Wild Hearts.
What the fuck is going on with the Detroit paper?
Free Press.
Thank you.
I thought the Free Press was the more liberal paper, guys. I thought the News is the conservative one, but you're all conservative, I guess. How about this one, Carol? Zany, cute, fun, beer-bellied guy.
Okay.
Seeking a wild heart woman. I love romantic sunsets, beautiful sunrises, cooking on the grill, and delicious desserts. And this dude's not married. He's not looking for a married woman. This is a white dude looking for a white girl or whatever. But he's fat, so that's Wild at Heart. What are we doing?
He said seeking a wild heart woman.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
what does that mean?
I don't know. I mean, it sounds maybe. I mean, he really likes food.
Yes.
He wants to be.
He loves delicious desserts
in the kinky section of the paper, so maybe he's looking for some food play. Yeah.
Oh.
I feel like his chances though would be better if he didn't say beer belly. Even if he said like he was a bigger dude or found some other way to say it, because like we know how you got the belly, sir, and that's not good.
The beer?
Yeah. Nobody wants a guy. Nobody wants Al Bundy. Okay. Nobody wants a guy who comes home from work, undoes his pants, sticks his hand in his pants, and asks for a beer. Nobody wants that. Okay. So don't go out there right away being like, I got a beer belly because I drank that much beer.
That's a tip for all you guys out there.
Aren't you glad you found me?
Yeah. I'm glad I don't like beer. That dude is zany, though. I loved that he used the word zany. How about this one, Carol? Once a month is not enough.
Oh.
If you agree, then call me. Straight male, 41, seeks woman, 20 to 45, with a healthy attitude about more than once a month for a playful relationship.
Oh, come on. He left out the part where he's married.
Yeah, obviously he's married. The fact that he's married is... So, you know how in the Constitution, it never says we have a right to privacy. It's just implicit throughout the the entire text.
Right.
His marriage is implicit throughout this. I know some of the arguments they've had based on what he's written. Once a month is not enough.
I mean,
That is a very personal, that's very personal to him that he's out there with that.
yeah. I mean, I think most people would probably agree with that.
Well, yeah, once a month is not enough. I agree.
But,
But are
work
you
it out
not-
with your wife.
Yeah, are you not pleasing your wife enough, or what? Maybe it is her. I don't know, but just saying. Every time someone's like, "I'm not having enough sex," I think like, "Well, what are you doing wrong?"
That's kind of mean.
I've never had that problem of not having enough sex.
Bragging.
How about?
I mean, not like No, anyway, go ahead.
what? What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, not like you can't brag. You can, but
How about knocking on forbidden doors, Carol? What if I knock on your forbidden doors tonight? Knocking on forbidden doors seeks the principles of lust, looking for female 20 to 40 non-smoker for exploring.
knocking on forbidden doors.
Seeks the principles of lust.
Okay.
This sounds like someone that either wants to get you into a cult or is looking for people for the doctor.
They don't tell you anything about them. Like, I don't even know if this is a guy or a girl.
Correct.
They just want somebody who's willing to, I don't know, be suicidal and sexy at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is fucked
scary.
up, right? Yeah,
Right.
it is. I get a very bad feeling. It's like when a serial killer passes you on the street and you, for some reason, just feel a chill and you don't know why.
Yeah.
That's what reading this does to me.
Yeah, it's alarming. Does anybody like screen these ads?
I don't know. Ladies, never tried to, but want to and would like to, enjoy to. Seeking open-minded, discreet, race open.
Age race open.
Yeah.
Again, we know nothing about you.
I think it's a guy looking for two ladies. I think. Never tried to, but want to and would like to, enjoy to.
I think he has to already have one. I don't think he can be requesting two.
I think he is. He's looking for ladies. It's twice.
Oh my God, lazy. You can't come
At least
looking.
get one.
You can't come looking for a threesome and not bring anything to the party.
He brings himself.
Not enough.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, you lost out on one there, guy. Sorry. What about pure pleasure? Mature, ambitious college student. If you're a college student and you have to put that you're mature in your ad, I don't think you're mature. Pure
Right.
pleasure, mature, ambitious college student seeking white professional male or white professional couple for discreet friendship. Serious replies only.
Does this one also not tell us anything about the person?
No.
Except that they're a college student.
Yeah.
We don't know their gender
No.
or their age
No.
or their race.
No.
Just college.
And they're mature. Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with these people? Like, I get that it's per word, but you got to give something.
No. Yeah, no. It has to be a woman, though, I would think. Right?
Why?
I don't know. Because she wants a white professional male.
Or a couple.
Or a couple.
I guess.
Quality exotic time given to all neglected females by single white male, 41. Time for all your needs. Discreet. All ages, races welcome.
Okay, so this guy is desperate as fuck. It's like, I will take care of any woman that answers my ad. That's bad. That's bad, sir. Have some
Yeah.
self-respect.
41, though.
So?
I don't know.
I mean, okay, yeah, he told us something about himself. Good, but...
And this is the last one. This is, I think, my favorite one.
Okay.
Retired white male. Tried by. Like it. Seeking attention of attractive, gifted by gay white
Gifted.
male. 21 to 30. Discreet and safe. Macomb County. But I love that. It's like a commercial. Tried by. Like it.
It is. Oh my god.
So it's just some old guy that in his old age decided to try a man. And he was like, you know what? This is good, actually. I see what they've been talking about all those years.
Interesting.
I'm sorry that I beat up all those gay people in the 60s, but...
Wow.
Yeah, he was just wrestling with his own fears. Anyway, so speaking of fears and sex and confusion, all that stuff, we watched the new Porky's American Pie.
Yeah, we did.
What did you think of American apple vagina pie?
I really liked it.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I thought it was very good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was better than Porky's.
It's so much better than Porky's. Porky's is whatever, but like this is it has a better story. It's more coherent. It has more likable characters.
Yeah.
We know something about these people outside. Here's the thing. One of the big strengths of this movie is these characters are sharply drawn. They are not caricatures. All of them. The guys, the core guys, are all very well fleshed out. The ladies are very well fleshed out. The only one that's not really well fleshed out, I guess, is Stifler. He's more of a caricature, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like he's not as much of a main character.
No, he's more of a caricature because he plays a specific role in the movie. And the guy, Sean William Scott, does it well. I liked the character. He's one of the breakout characters. But he's a specific kind of thing.
Yeah. But our main characters are all virgins.
Jason...
Stifler's not a virgin.
No. Jason Bigglesworth or whatever. Like Dr. Evil's cat. Jason Biggs. The one guy we saw in Election, the brother, walks in on his sister and she's like, what the fuck? Don't you ever knock? He's like, yeah, listen, Heather.
I don't remember what you're talking about.
You ran for class president too, and I don't know why, and that's okay. I really like you. You're my favorite. Like, it makes me sad when you're sad.
Yeah, him. Okay.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that what's his name? Paul for president.
Yeah. So
he was in Election. He's there too. He's
Chris?
I think his name's Chris. Yeah.
Oz,
yes.
Chris Oz. Like Chris Osgood.
Chris Osriker. Ostriker.
Osmodius.
Ostriker is his last name or whatever, but they call him Oz, yeah. So those two, and then Shitbreak, what's his name?
Shitbreak.
Paul Finch.
Yep.
And the guy that was Rookie of the Year. He was the baseball player in Rookie of the Year.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see the movie.
Jeremy Rowan Gardner, the one who broke his arm and was able to throw a fastball at like 110 miles an hour or whatever the fuck he did in that movie. Played for the Minnesota Twins.
Well, who does he play in this movie?
He's the one that's got the girlfriend.
Okay.
He's the one dating Tara Reid.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
But I don't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't
Kevin?
either.
Is it Kevin?
It is Kevin.
How do I remember all these names?
I honestly almost wrote them down coming in here because I was like, I'm going to not remember anybody's name.
It's weird, though, that I can remember their names given how, like I said, usually we forget names and everything, but they are, like, I feel like I know these characters. For just, like, a regular teen sex comedy, it's interesting that I feel like I know these characters. And I kind of want to see more of these characters, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing another movie.
They sort of end it where they're kind of like, oh, maybe, like to the next step or whatever. Like, I mean, that could function as either like a cap to the because at the beginning of the movie they do kind of the same thing. They toast and they're like the next step, which is getting laid.
Yeah.
But now they're like, no, the next step actually maturing and becoming functional adults and stuff like that, and so they kind of their priorities straighten. So you could look at that as like a capper. You could look at it as like, hey, are we going to see these people in the future? Kind of thing.
We'll see. So
it is wildly successful at the box office. It's doing very well.
I imagine, because like you got to tell people about it as soon as you see it, because it's so crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on. Where do you want to start? You want to start with some of your favorites, or you want to? You tell me.
So, Jason Biggs' character, what the fuck is his name?
Ooh, that's a good question. Mike?
No.
Mitch?
No, it starts with a J too. I feel like it could have been Jason, but I don't think it is.
Anyway, talk and I'll think of it.
Okay. So, he's like the main character.
I would say so, yeah.
Because we spend more time with him.
He's our point of view character.
Yeah.
We need a point of view character, and he's it. We watch him fuck a pie, it's...
And that, I've got to say, is the weirdest scene, I think, in the movie.
One of the weirdest scenes I've seen in a movie in a while.
And
we watched Boogie Nights.
Yeah. I mean, it was prefaced by, he's talking to his friends, they're like, you haven't even made it to, what was it, third base?
Yeah, that's what third base is. Yeah, genital.
And so he's like, well, what does it feel like? And they say, warm apple pie.
Well, specifically, Oz says warm apple pie.
I think that's disgusting as fuck. Like, and not true. And
disagree.
I mean, if you're reaching in there and it feels like that, something is wrong. You need to tell the lady she needs to go see her doctor. Because it should not feel sticky or chunky.
You have masses in your vagina, ma'am.
Like, that really
they feel
concerns
like chunks
me.
of pie. Or chunks of apple. Such as you would make in an apple pie.
Right. Just ew.
It doesn't. The only thing that an apple pie has that, a vagina does as well is the temperature, I guess, like warmth. I mean, not fresh out of the oven. You don't want to.
Right? Can you imagine?
You don't want to reach in there and be like, ah! The poor boys that are seeing this movie that have no sexual experience are going to be like lightly touching the outside of a vagina like it's a hot stove, testing the temperature. Is it okay?
Oh my goodness.
But no, warmness, sure. And I suppose I've never put my finger in an apple pie, but I assume that there is some wetness as well, and that's another quality. We're not here to tell you what a vagina feels like, everyone. But it doesn't feel like an apple pie.
No,
they're wrong.
And then we literally have to see him with his pants off,
fucking
laying on top of this pie. How awful must that have been for this actor?
They obviously, I don't think his pants were really off. Obviously,
his pants were off. We saw his butt. What are you talking about?
But I mean, like, we didn't see his penis.
No,
his penis didn't. His penis didn't penetrate a pie. This was simulated apple pie sex. This wasn't like Disco Dolls and Hot Skin, where it was not simulated sex. This is Cinemax style simulated sex.
Okay.
So he probably had something over the front of him or whatever.
Sure.
But yes, that scene is great though, honestly, because of how shocking it is.
Yeah.
In the movie, he puts his finger in, and you think like, oh, he's just going to put his finger in the pie, right? And they cut to him full on fucking the pie. His dad walks in, played by Eugene Levy, who is hilarious throughout the entire film. I'm a big Eugene Levy fan.
He is funny.
He's very funny throughout the whole film. He comes in, and he's like, ah, like his shocked face, and then they cut to silence of them sitting at a table in front of the destroyed pie. And he's just like, he does a really good, like, his comedy style is a lot like Bob Newhart's comedy style in this movie. Like Bob, someone will ask Bob Newhart, like, oh, like, it's like a really stupid question or something, like, oh, couldn't that be? And like his punchline would be like, no.
Yeah.
And that's like, but he delivers a lot of lines like that. And in this movie, the punchline of this scene is just like, we'll just tell your mom we ate it all. It's like, so fucked up.
Yeah.
And then later, the coda of this scene And you pointed it out to me after we were done watching the movie, because I didn't even think about it. But after the movie was over, when we were talking about it a little preliminarily, you brought it up, and I was like, "Oh my God, you're right." But he comes up to his son in the hallway, just looking at the most ridiculous photo I've ever seen of 3 people in my life. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, masturbation's great and everything. But it's not like you want a partner, right?" And he's like, "You want a partner, don't you?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, good, you do want a partner." And I was just thinking, like, what a weird, these dads is weird. What a weird thing to say. But coming off the heels of the pie fucking incidents, as you pointed out, is his dad just afraid that he's not into sex with girls? And I was like, oh my God, yeah, he thinks he's like some kind of weird food fetishist where he just wants to fuck objects.
Well, not food fetish, because earlier before that, they already had found him with a sock on his penis.
Yeah.
Which I think is a pretty normal guy thing, though.
I've never done it.
No.
But I've heard of it throughout my entire adolescence. So yeah, I do think it's pretty normal, but I don't know, it never seemed I don't know, it just seems weird to me, but I never did it.
But I mean, technically that was, fucking an object as well. So
I guess kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah. Not quite the same. But.
No. Not quite the same. And that scene was weird too. His mom walks in and sees him masturbating. Doesn't know, and she doesn't see him. He covers himself with a pillow. Mm-hmm. He's watching Skinamax, all scrambled up.
He's watching the scramble. He's watching the Spice Channel and stuff like that. The scrambled porn at the end of the fucking rainbow of the TV channels. The ones that are in the 90s or whatever. But I found that kind of funny too, because we've all been there, people my age, but that's, I feel like if, teenagers now, I don't think they'd be doing that. Because as we see later, he has the internet. There's pornography on the internet. How many teenagers are flipping to those channels now?
Yeah, I mean,
in the late 80s and the early 90s, the very early 90s, and the mid to late 80s, sure. But I don't know, ever since maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I feel like most of that's gone on to the internet now.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't see video, but
I never even had those channels to begin with, even Scrambled, because I didn't have cable at that time. So, yeah.
Yeah, we have.
So you listened to it, but you couldn't see it. Is that how that works?
From memory, I don't believe there's audio either.
What is the point?
There was audio on his, but I'm pretty sure that there's not audio really. The point is trying to make out a boob.
Dear Lord. I don't know how
we were desperate in the 80s.
I don't know how that could excite somebody to the point of masturbation.
No, you're not a guy.
I guess. I mean, I would hope not a teenage guy specifically.
Yeah, no one wants to be that. But every once in a while you look for a title that, you might be able to pass off and rent that too. And, when it shows up on the bill, being like, "Oh my God, I thought it was this. I thought it was a league of their own, not a league of their moans."
So he, I don't know. Do you want to just go through each character?
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay. So, him and all of his friends make a pact that they're going to lose their virginity by prom night. So
I'm glad it's not a bet. Someone mentions bet, and I was like, no, please don't sully this with it. It's just hey, we're all in this together. We're going to help each other and stuff like that. So
in his, seeking that out, he is into this foreign exchange student,
Nadia, played by Shannon Elizabeth.
And she is into him, too.
For some reason.
I don't get it. I'm sorry, I don't think he's very attractive.
Aww.
And he's a big dork. Yeah. But she seems to think he's cute. Josh?
Josh is his name, right?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know. Sorry. But she asked him to help her with her studies. And she's going to go to
World history.
Yeah. She's going to go to his house after her ballet lesson, but she's going to need to change, she tells him. Yeah. Now, right there is like a big clue that like you're getting greenlit for something.
Really?
That she points out that she has to change her clothes at your house.
I've had a couple girls say that to me before.
And nothing happened?
Before we were together. I didn't say that.
Exactly. So you got greenlit. So, I mean, like, I don't know. She's putting the idea out there. He shares this with his asshole friends, and they're like, oh, you need to record her. You need to put her on the internet.
He says that.
Wait, he does? I thought it was his friend's idea.
Okay, so, somebody says something like, first of all, I don't know why they would think she would change in his room.
Yeah.
But that is what happens.
I would have changed in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too. But, somebody says something like, oh, too bad you can't, like, you know, be there or whatever, like, to see her change. And he's like, what am I going to do? Like, broadcast it over the internet? And then Stifler is like, can you do that? And then they're like, you need to do that. Then they start, like, egging him on, convincing him. But he is the first one that says it. He says it jokingly, like, that's a ridiculous idea.
And instead of it being ridiculous, he fucking does it.
Yeah, it's this is the part of the movie that years from now people are going to look back on and be like, oh, this is awful. Like,
yeah.
Because this is, I feel like not enough people are talking about right now, like how much of a horrible violation that is of this woman's privacy.
Well, yeah, because...
But it definitely is.
I mean, it has major consequences, too. Because...
Good.
Not for him, for her.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it has consequences for her, yeah.
Because, okay, so he is watching her. She starts fucking masturbating on his bed.
Well, yeah, first she takes off her clothes, you know, and we see her fully naked, which is nice for the movie.
She's a nice looking lady.
I will say, you talk about Porky's and stuff like this. This is directly inspired by Porky's.
Okay.
Because Porky's is all about like a peephole in the woman's locker room, right? And this is the modern equivalent of a peephole in the ladies' locker room. Is a camera where you can broadcast it on the internet or whatever. I think a lot of people look back on stuff like that, like the peephole, you know, and stuff like that and everything, and they're like, oh, that's gross and whatever. And I think people will look at this that same way, but I don't think enough people are saying how gross it is right now. I mean, it's not as bad as, say, like Revenge of the Nerds, where the main character that we're supposed to be rooting for literally rapes a woman at the end of the movie because he's got a Darth Vader mask on or whatever, and she thinks it's her boyfriend, and he doesn't tell her he's not her boyfriend.
That's awful.
Until after they have sex, but then it's okay because he's surprisingly good at sex, so she's all right with it, and then the movie ends happily. But yeah, that's rape. But anyway, so it's not as bad as that, but it's bad.
Yeah. So he's with his friends. He runs to his friend's house to watch her, and they're like, "There's a girl masturbating on your bed." He's like, "Oh my god, I got to get back over there." And then he like fucking jizzes in his pants when she's like, "Oh, come on, let's go."
Yeah. Twice. I don't even know how that's possible. What kind of a refractory period does this kid have?
It's insane. That's insanity. Now, with all the masturbation he's been doing up to this point, you'd think that he'd have some kind of tolerance.
Exactly. Now, not naming any names. Really not naming any names, because this is an absolute true story.
Oh, okay.
And I don't even want to allude as to who this could be.
Uh-oh.
But I knew someone in school who, when a group of kids, now I wasn't there, when a group of kids, like 3 or 4 guys, were watching a pornographic film all together in his house, this kid apparently came in his pants.
Huh?
Which
how embarrassing.
Earned him the nickname Jism Jeans. Or JJ for short, which is what we would call him sometimes. Not his real initials, no hints. But yeah, I heard that from a friend who I believe, too. And I remember when he told me that, I was saying, like, why were you guys even doing that? It's so weird to me. I have never done that or been into any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe teenagers like to share the porn they get their hands on sometimes.
I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so I know that it's possible
Sure.
to happen. But twice?
Crazy.
Seems very unlikely.
So she doesn't even get laid. And he sent the link out to the entire school by accident instead of just his friends. So everybody sees this. So he's humiliated. Mm-hmm. And she is a Russian exchange student, right? Russian?
I don't remember somewhere. Like
some kind of exchange.
Czechoslovakian, I think. Or something.
Yeah. And she's getting sent back. Her sponsor parents are like, nope, you're on a plane back home. And somehow she's okay with him still. Like at the end of the movie, she's talking to him over like video chat over the internet.
Right. And he's dancing for her, yeah.
Like there is no way she'd be okay. She'd be like pressing fucking charges because that was not cool. And she'd be pissed as hell because he ruined her. I mean, like, did she even get to graduate?
Yeah, it's a fatal flaw in the character.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to be rooting for him, and, like, it's a really, like, I can get over it, but it's hard.
And so then, instead of her, because she gets sent away, he ends up going to prom with a girl who is...
Willow! He goes with Willow!
Yes.
Worlds are colliding! We watch a show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer and do a tape called Slayer Talk. And if you don't listen to it, you should, because it's really good. But, Willow from Allison Hannigan from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Man, she must have had a tight film schedule because, Buffy's...
I thought you were going to say tight something else.
No, but Sarah Michelle Gellar has done some movies.
Yeah.
But when she's done some movies, we've noticed a bit of an absence. Mm-hmm. We didn't notice an absence for her.
No, I'm wondering if they shot this on hiatus.
They must
if this
have.
movie was shooting it while Buffy was on hiatus or something like that. I don't know. But she's good. She plays a geek in this like she does on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I guess she just has that look.
But a very different kind of geek.
Yeah.
These are uniquely different characters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
She has one of the biggest quotes that's going to come out of this movie, I'm sure. The one time at band camp. She says it a bunch of times.
Yeah, every
very
sentence
funny.
starts with that. But yeah, so she tells him, she asks him to prom, and she acts like she has no idea what happened. Like, and he's like, "Oh, you don't know why I look upset?"
Yeah, because rightly he got some comeuppance for shooting illegal porn, with this girl.
So he's like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, go to prom with me, yay!" So
because he figures no one else is going to want to,
right?
Because everyone else is making fun of him. Good.
So then,
Blink 182 is over there making fun of him. Blink 182 is a cameo in this movie, just watching the porn.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Mark Hoppus is excited.
So he takes her to prom, and at the after party, she says, "One time at band camp, I stuck a flute in my pussy."
Yeah.
She's like, "What, you think I don't know how to get myself off?" I'm sorry, but as a woman, I just have to say no. No.
Yeah, it's really weird. It feels like this movie was written by someone that's never had sex.
Right?
That doesn't understand sex in any way. What's a vagina feel like? Warm apple pie? Probably. What do women shove inside of them to get themselves off when they don't have a penis around? Flutes? Of course.
Of course. That's just awful.
Feels exactly like that's what like dildos feel like, right? They feel like they're hard and metal, and they have little valves and shit.
Dear God, so ew and awful.
Because what end? What end of the flute? Okay, if you're doing the back end, then you've got all these little knobs and and that's not good at all, right? And if you're doing the front end, that's where the mouthpiece is. So you're just putting your mouth on that afterwards?
Ew.
You're just filling it with juice? Like,
ew.
What's going on?
Okay, ew. So obviously this just, no, I'm sure no woman has ever done this. Don't do this. Don't think this is, no, it's not okay.
You're going to give yourself Wilson's disease. No, I don't know. The heavy metal toxicity.
But,
no, they're not made out of copper, so.
Yeah, so she's like, "So we're going to have sex or what?" So apparently at band camp, some shit goes down.
I guess. I wasn't aware.
And she says that he has to double condom so that he doesn't come so fast, which
doesn't work.
probably helped him. What do you mean doesn't work?
It's not a good thing. You wear 2 condoms, like that doesn't double protect you. It makes it more likely that you'll get sexually transmitted diseases. Everyone out there realize that the latex rubs against each other. They can create little pores and holes in there, so it can open you up for sexually transmitted diseases. Don't think if you're using 2 condoms that's better. 1 condom is always best for safety.
Sure, for safety, but she was talking about desensitization.
Sure, I guess. Yeah.
So
apparently there's things you can do for desensitization. Again, not anything I've ever done, but I've read articles about like fucking famous Lotharios. Like I'm trying to think, there was the one that's like popular in Vegas, but I can't think of his name. But supposedly they'd soak their privates in like, I don't know, lemon juice or something like that or whatever for like 5 minutes before they're going to have sex or whatever. It helps desensitize it. I don't remember exactly what I read, but I remember people putting stuff on their genitals to desensitize them so they could have sex for longer.
don't put things on your genitals, people. That sounds very dangerous.
Yeah, not something I would do, but...
Don't try this shit at home.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, so he ends up getting laid.
So I guess congratulations to him.
Say my name.
Bitch. Yeah. They have some rough sex.
On the kid's bed.
Yeah, it's weird.
But, funny. It's
very funny.
His stuff's funny.
All very funny.
So then, what character do you want to go to next?
You pick.
Let's talk about Oz
Okay.
and his journey. It's a little shorter. Because, again, none of the rest of them are main characters.
Yeah. So Oz is dating a college chick.
Kind of, yeah. He's
going on
a date with her, yeah.
And he decides to tell her that his nickname is Nova, as in Casanova.
Yeah, wow.
And then says, "Suck me beautiful."
Like Casanova would do.
Of course. What a fucking moron.
What a smooth line that is.
Suck
Oh, you wouldn't respond to that?
No,
he called you beautiful.
And the girl rightly laughs in his face and tells him to take her back to her door.
Gives him some tips.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, you got to learn how to talk to women.
Right.
It's not like this.
It's nice that she does that, and he takes her advice to heart.
Yeah, he's not a complete idiot.
So he's like, okay, so girls want you to listen to them and pay attention to them and stuff and be more sensitive. So he's going to try to do those things. So
he's a lacrosse player, and he decides to join the Glee Club or whatever it is. I don't know what it is.
I think it's Glee. I don't know.
It's choir. But they're singing like, "How sweet it is to be loved by you." I guess it was cheap to get that song out.
Right. And who's the girl? Do you remember the actress's name?
Minu Savari.
Okay. Because I don't know the character's name at all.
Claire?
But maybe. But he immediately, gets her interested in him. Mm-hmm. And like you pointed out, he's probably the best looking generically of the guys or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he's a little too generically good looking.
I gotcha. Who's the best looking? Stifler?
No.
Oh.
The one that dates Tara Reid.
I like Stifler, actually. Rookie of the Year? Yeah, he's fine. Yeah. He's also generic looking, in my opinion.
So, he's already on lacrosse. It's senior year. They're doing all the shit, and he's now picked up, this choir thing, and he doesn't even realize that he's volunteered to be her partner.
Yeah.
And he has a game at the same time.
They do one of those things where it's like they have a misunderstanding that's the dumbest misunderstanding ever. Because he's being nice to her and everything, and she's like, "Oh, I see you're not everything I thought you were or whatever. And you're more." And she's like, "Hey, do you want to go to prom with me?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'd love to go to prom with you." And then he goes back to his buddies, and his buddies are all like teasing him and making fun of him, and Stifler is pretending like he's having sex with her or whatever, and he's like,
spank me,
hit that high C, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they're like, and he's not participating in it.
No, he's just standing there smiling,
just like with a wry smile on his face, because he's getting hazed. But she sees this, and she's decided that he's making fun of her.
Which is ridiculous. I mean, I think that shows some, like, deep-seated insecurities on her part.
I agree. I think she is very insecure.
So, yeah, so she gets upset with him about that. Then, how does he get her to forgive him?
He talks to her.
That's all?
Yep.
Okay.
Like, he explains to her, like, that, I'm trying to think, because he does something else, too. Like, he talks to her about it, and it's like, you know, hey, like, I wasn't making fun of you or whatever, and, like, you know.
Well, he volunteers to be her partner for that thing. I think that's part of it,
Oh,
too.
yeah, and then he puts she hears him practicing the song, you know, like, without her and stuff like that, and she sees he's putting, like, himself into it, and then they end up having a big discussion where they greatly misjudge the geography of Michigan. Because she's like, oh, I'll be in Ann Arbor and you'll be in East Lansing. We'll be close. An hour and a half away.
Yeah, I mean, that's not super close. I mean, it's doable, I guess, for, like, weekend trips, but, yeah.
It's not that close, people.
No.
And this is written by a Michigander.
I mean, truly, though, an hour and a half isn't that bad, but, yeah, it's definitely not, like, next door.
Well, the one which we'll talk about later is going to Ithaca, New York to go to Cornell. That's a lot different.
So, anyways, he has this conflict now where he tells her, like, I'm so sorry, I got things mixed up, I've got to do this game. And she looks heartbroken. Mm-hmm. Like, and she's like, okay, you know, I totally understand.
Yep.
And she's already, I think, agreed to go to prom with him at this point.
Yeah.
But when it comes game day, he feels so guilty, he literally just runs off the field to go do this. He shows up all sweaty in his fucking lacrosse uniform. Mm-hmm. What the hell? Like, that was so dumb. This whole thing pisses me off. He's played lacrosse all year. Yeah. His team is depending on him.
Yeah.
And this woman already has somebody who stepped in to take his place as her partner. And he's icky. He shows up and he's all icky. Like, don't do that.
So, in his defense, I'm going to defend him a little bit here, I think. It sounded like they were really beating the shit out of this team. Like, they were up a lot. And the coach was giving this speech about, like, you know, how, like, hey, you don't want to fucking, you know, get distracted and everything. You need to know what your priorities are and what you really want to do and stuff like that. And I think that was him basically just saying, like, hey, this is what I want. So I think that was him saying, like, this is more important. This is the important thing.
The girl is more important to him.
Yeah, and I think, yes, I think the choir was more important to him.
Okay.
So, honestly. So I think that's and being there for her and everything. So I think that's kind of what it was supposed to be. I do understand, like, you know, he did get changed into their matching weird uniforms.
Yeah, he did. But, I don't know, it just seemed like not the real life decision. I don't think that would work out in real life.
Yeah, it was weird. But they end up going to this after party prom together. And this is, to me, their story is the sweetest story of all these ones. Because he's talking to her and he's like, yeah, you know, like, when I was, you know, doing the lacrosse before I left, coach was talking about, like, you know, how to score or whatever. And she's like, yeah, that's not a good way to proposition me. And he's like, you know, like, he says something else and, like, she's like, this is not any better. But he's like, no, I feel like, with you, I feel like I've already won. Like, I'm not trying to score. Like, I'm not trying to, you know, it's really nice, you know, nice sentiment. Yeah. And then they have sex.
And
he says they didn't, by the way.
He tells his friends, nope, didn't happen. So he, like, really loves her, I think.
It's not a kiss and tell situation. No.
And they might still, you know, see each other. We'll see. Yeah. Maybe.
They'll be close.
I would love it if they do a sequel.
Hour and a half away.
But next couple, Tara Reid and whatever the fuck. Kevin.
Kevin's his name.
So they've been dating for at least the whole school year.
Yeah, I think a couple years, it sounds like. She's giving him regular blowjobs, and he doesn't like it anymore.
Yeah, he's tired of it, and he wants a real sex. Yeah, like, they're at a party at the beginning of the movie, and she's giving him head. Now, this is weird to me. I don't know if this is normal for people, but this is weird to me. she's going down on him, and then he's like, okay, I'm ready. And she gives him a cup to finish in.
Yeah.
Like, weird. Do people do that?
People that don't swallow do that, Carol.
Okay. But it's in a beer, which gets left in the room.
It's one of those classic situations where someone's about to drink it, and they get stopped, and they're about to drink it, and they get stopped, and then someone drinks it.
It's so gross. Yeah, Stifler.
Yeah.
It's his
gross.
house.
There's a couple gross things that happen.
There are a lot of gross things happen.
But there's a couple in particular that I was like, I'm not like, because I don't like that kind of humor. But
yeah. I mean, like, it's not a perfect movie, but I mean, it was still pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then after that, she hears him complaining to his friends, "I'm tired of these blowjobs, guys." Like,
pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Like, I'd be fucking pissed too. She was like, I am done with you. So it takes him, I think, a couple of weeks, maybe even, to like get her back.
Yeah, well, what gets her back is, getting her front, if you take my meaning.
Yeah, her friend, who was in that one movie that we did, with the actress with the curly hair.
The Slums of Beverly Hills.
Yeah. Her, the main character star, what's her name?
Natasha Lyonne or something like that?
She plays her friend, and she tells him...
Jessica is her character's name.
If you want to get her back, you got to give her an orgasm or tell her you love her, because she kept asking him to tell her he loves her, which I think is weird.
She kept saying "I love you" and waiting for him to say it back.
Yeah,
and he didn't want to say it if he didn't mean it.
Right,
and that's his big thing. So he calls his brother via Ben Affleck's brother, Casey Affleck, and is like, "Hey, you're whatever a vague businessman at a sushi place. How do I give her an orgasm?" And he's like, "All you want to do is get laid, huh? You fucking piece of shit." And he's like, "No, it'd just be nice to give back or whatever." He's like, "Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. All right." Here's the book of sex.
Yeah, so apparently they're hidden in the library shelves, like on the underneath part. They have like a secret compartment containing the book explaining how to go down on women. I don't know.
Well, there's a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
But he took the go down on part, the tongue tornado.
So he gives her first orgasm, and then that brings them back together as a couple. How sweet.
Yeah, their storyline's a little less saccharine. But
yeah, I don't like it. I don't like their storyline at all, because then...
Not really. Everything about it seems manipulative and weird, and I don't know.
And then at prom, it's like, they're like, okay, we're going to have sex. And like right before he's about to like enter her, she's like, I need to hear you say it. Mm-hmm. What the fuck? Yeah. Like, if you need to hear him say it, then he should say it of his own volition. And if he's not going to, and you need that, then you shouldn't be having sex with him.
Yeah, that's the definition of entrapment to everyone.
Yeah. So he says, I love you.
He does.
And then they have sex, and then they break up because she knows he doesn't really love her. And they're going to be...
they don't break
up.
Well,
and they're going to be... Well, I think she knows it. I think that's part of it.
Okay, but he says, hey, I meant what I said yesterday, and I think he does. I really do. I think he does mean it.
And she says, I know.
I don't think he just said it.
I guess. I don't know. I'm not convinced.
I think she was fooling herself. I think her character... this one, I think, is kind of interesting, because I think this storyline is about her character arc, not his. I don't think he has much of a character arc, honestly. His character. He's the one that makes the oath. He's the one that ends up wanting to have sex. Like, oh, we fucking need to have sex. We all need to have sex, and everything like that. He's the one that gets called out later at the prom, and they're like, I'm fucking sick of this bullshit pressure you're putting on us, Kevin. Like, what the fuck? Because you want sex. Like, fucking relax, kind of. And he gets sex, and then he's basically the same. Like, at the end. So I don't think he has much of a character arc. I think the character arc is her.
Okay.
She's like a hopeless romantic. She really wants to make this work. She's got this delusion of like, we're going to have a long distance relationship. I'm going to be in New York and you're going to be in Michigan, and we're going to love each other, and we're going to love it, and love conquers all, and all that stuff and everything. And everything's got to be perfect, and the first time of sex has to be exactly perfect, and it's all the fairy tale stuff and everything. And I think she realizes as the movie goes on that is not life. Life is not a fairy tale. There's not perfectness, and there's not a perfect first time. There's not a this or whatever. And I think she becomes a little jaded, but more realistic, a more down to earth character. And she realizes like, hey, we're not going to stay together. Like, we're going to be too far apart.
Yeah.
like staying together would hurt our growth as people, and that this experience and this relationship is one step along our path, and it's not the last step. And I think that's kind of her character arc. I think her saying, like, you know, I need to hear it before we have sex is like her last holding on to that last bit. But I think in the morning it kind of fades. And maybe he didn't 100% mean it. And when he says that and she says, I know, maybe she is saying, I know what this is.
Mm-hmm. That was more the impression I get. But last character, Finch.
Yeah. Finch's story is funny.
Yeah. I mean, he's like the least likable character, I think.
This reminds me of Animal House.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, Dean Wormer and Dean Wormer's wife.
Tell me.
Well, in Animal House, what's his name? Otter, I think is his name. The main character, played by Timothy Hutton. No, not Timothy Hutton. Whatever. Tim Matheson. He sees the dean of the college's wife at a grocery store. And he's like, oh, Dean, you know, you're Dean Wormer's wife or whatever. And they're enemies, him and the dean. And he ends up like seducing her and having sex with her at some point in the movie. And she's like the older woman, you know, and stuff like that. So this storyline reminds me of that.
So yeah, for Stifler's mom, we see in the very beginning of the movie this picture of her on the wall, and the guys are like, oh, she's a MILF.
Yeah, so interesting acronym they've created here, MILF.
Mom, I'd like to fuck.
Yeah. Shouldn't that be MILF?
It should. And at one point, these drunk teenage boys are just chanting, MILF, 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 which is just messed up.
And I heard people coming out of the theater chanting MILF, so yeah, very fun.
So Finch, we find out, like, makes a deal with Tara Reid's friend to to tell all the girls, like, lies about him to make him seem more attractive, including that he's well endowed. He's
got a big penis. He beat up Stifler. He's been in jail. He's got a tattoo.
All this stuff. So he doesn't have a tattoo or a big penis. Those are...
We assume he doesn't have a big penis.
I mean, well, yeah, I guess we don't know. But I mean, like, if he doesn't, like, these things would be, like, very easily disproven and could be disappointing to the woman if he does get her in bed.
No shit.
So I think that was probably not the smartest.
Nothing worse than overselling your genitals.
Right. But he pisses off Stifler.
Yeah, because he hears that Stifler, he beat up Stifler, supposedly.
Right. So Stifler, he has this thing where he won't poop in public. He goes home to poop every day, which is so weird.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I get it. Like, I used to feel like that, like, too, but I wouldn't go home from school. Like, geez.
It's weird. Yeah.
He puts X-Lax or something in his beverage.
It's X-Lax.
His coffee. Yeah.
His little mochaccino that he drinks.
So he is not going to make it home. He is running. He is sweaty, and there's the grossest pooping scene ever. Ew.
Yeah, it's not good.
We don't need to watch it, but we do. We have to. They make us.
That's right. That's the other gross humor that, you know, I'm not that into. That this scene wasn't funny to me. This kind of stuff's not funny to me. I just think it's gross and I don't like it.
And so, like, his worst fear is realized. He has a terrible shit in public and then comes out of the bathroom and everybody is there clapping and everybody knows that he did it. So he doesn't have a date for prom.
He goes stag.
Because apparently the fact that he's a human being who poops means that no one will ever date him again.
Correct.
It's stupid.
It is high school, Carol.
And he wanders into Stifler's mom's, like, area of the house. It says "Do not enter."
It's a little basement area with a pool table and stuff like that. Again, apparently it's where she's been relegated to hang out while Stifler is having his party upstairs.
That's a weird dynamic that she kind of mentions there too. Like, kind of like she has to be down there or something. It's like, what? You're the parent, but whatever.
Yeah.
And he fucks Stifler's mom. She's been drinking.
Yeah.
She comes on to him. They to the tune of Mrs. Robinson, go at it at the pool table. And Stifler catches them.
Well, Stifler walks in the next day.
Yeah.
when they're presumably like cuddling or whatever afterwards.
Yeah. And he's like, Mom, shit prick.
Right.
It's pretty funny.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Like, it's a hilarious arc to his character. You know, she's a marginally attractive woman, I guess, you know.
I think she's pretty.
You thought she was pretty.
Yeah.
Not exactly my type, but you thought she was pretty.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. They all managed to lose their virginity as planned, which is kind of incredible. I don't think real life would work out that way.
They all do this, by the way, because they think that this guy Shermanator,
Yeah.
at the homecoming party or whatever, the beginning of the year party, that he lost his virginity to some woman, and turns out he didn't.
No.
Which she tells the entire prom.
Well, yeah, because she's pissed because he's been telling everybody he slept with her. I'd be pissed too.
That's awesome. And then he pees himself.
Yeah. That's bad.
But yeah, I mean, very, like, so, kind of, I guess you get the idea of us going through the storyline. It's a well-written movie. Mm-hmm. It's a tightly scripted movie, and
it's like an hour and a half. It's not too long or anything.
Yeah, it's breezy. So, not only is it's a good movie just on its own, but it's also funny. Like, it's a very funny comedy. So there's a lot of... It's not a comedy that's just like, oh, just jokes and everything else doesn't fucking matter. It's a really well-written story that has good comedy throughout as well.
Good characters, good pacing. I love it.
And the acting is they did a great job casting this movie.
Yeah.
They really found some strong young actors and actresses to be in this. I think they did an excellent job. I think all these people have some kind of career ahead of them.
I would imagine.
But yeah, that's the show. So see it. I would say go out in the theater and see it.
100%.
But Carol, tell people where they can get their own laxatives in Mochaccino.
You can check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
How do you get a prescription for that? It was prescription.
I don't know. Latefee1994 at AOL.com.
Yep.
And share the tapes with your friends.
I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.